Have you ever noticed that when you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, you end up getting crushed by both sides when you know you could have avoided it completely? Well, that's what Lincoln found out in the episode I'm going to talk about today. So join me as I, SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. Cue the intro! Today's episode is Intense Debate. In this episode, Lincoln has to cast a tie-breaking vote between two places for their family vacation when 5 of his sisters choose one destination while the remaining 5 choose the other. The very first thing I'm going to say right off the bat is no, this is not an example of Lincoln being tortured in the way you might be thinking, so allow me to explain. Lincoln had to choose between either Aloha Beach or Dairyland amusement park, and each half of the girls were trying to persuade him into choosing their respective destination. They tried to win his vote by doing all kinds of nice things for him. Each team was pampering him left and right, and really going out of their way to make sure he sided with them. Lincoln was told he had until the end of the day to make his decision, and what did he do? He decided to milk the pampering for as long as he could, and you can tell by the look on his face when he asked for one more day indicates he knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah, I know he says one half of his sisters were going to be mad at him no matter what he decided, but besides enjoying what everyone was doing for him, how is taking advantage of the situation going to benefit anyone if no final decision for a vacation is reached? Now, mind you, I'm not so much excusing any of the girls' attempts to show Lincoln how bad either destination would be because they were creating very uncomfortable situations for him, like intentionally turning on the cold water in the shower and giving him sodium hydrochloride disguised as sunscreen that resulted in his face burning up. Let's not forget trying to make him throw up in a mock version of a roller coaster, although that one technically doesn't make sense because usually throwing up would be a natural reaction to being on one of those things. And of course, scaring the crap out of him with a diseased Tippy the Cow costume. Each side figured out they were sabotaging each other and started fighting among themselves, but then they rightfully called out Lincoln by saying this was, in fact, his fault, at least to a degree. It's true the girls didn't have to do anything crazy to their brother, and they do deserve some of the blame in what happened. They could have just continued pampering him in the nice way they did before without going insane with sabotage. However, in their defense, they point out the situation would have never escalated to the extreme had Lincoln just made up his mind the night before. So yes, Lincoln is also to blame for the conflict spiraling out of control since he was the one who decided to drag out the pampering and special treatment for as long as he wanted, inevitably delaying the family vacation by who knows how long. People always seem to forget that Lincoln has agency in his actions and he's not always a victim when it's clear he's acting like an antagonist in certain episodes, this being one of them. Again, I don't absolve the girls in what they did because none of them acted like innocent angels on day 2, but Lincoln dragging out the situation didn't make him look good either. In a sense, what his sisters did to him on the second day was theoretically a form of punishment he could have avoided despite such punishment being only slightly justified in terms of context. Still, I agree with those fans who say how him being treated very poorly wasn't exactly deserved. So as a result of all the chaos and all the girls being mad at Lincoln instead of only 5, everyone ends up going to their usual vacation spot, Scratchy Bottom Campground, a place they were very much against going to in the beginning. However, everyone seemed totally cool with going there by the end, and I guess it's because Lincoln was trying to make sure they had a good experience while he was trying to survive the outdoor elements, which included a wild bear. Many say Lincoln was treated unfairly during the final few seconds, but let me ask you this. Had the family gone to the campground in the first place, do you honestly believe Lincoln would be doing any of the stuff we see him doing? He was most likely doing all these things as his way of making it up to his sisters after taking advantage of them. I can understand that a little bit, but I'm also annoyed with how the girls never apologized to Lincoln for what they did to him earlier. The ending is one of those instances where someone technically got what they deserved, but it was also bad because other characters didn't face retribution for their actions when it was rightfully deserved. Either way, it really wasn't that great of an ending. Overall, I agree with fans when they say this episode is not good, but I'll reiterate by saying this is not a Lincoln being tortured example, at least not in the way some might be thinking. Yes, he didn't so much deserve to be put through the ringer the the way he was, but no, he's not a complete victim from start to finish and only technically deserves some punishment for his actions. He took advantage of everyone for his own benefit, thus becoming his own antagonist, and the conflict wouldn't have gone off the deep end had he just committed to casting his tie-breaking vote on the first day. Once again, I'm not letting the girls off the hook because they were being antagonistic as well, but do you really think they were planning sabotage on the very first day when they were treating their brother like royalty before they confronted him later that night? I think the answer to that is very obvious. In short, everyone in their own way was the bad guy, had agency in their actions, and therefore shared in the downfall of the episode. And actually, everyone comes out as losers because they wound up at the vacation spot they wanted to avoid. And by the way, where were the parents in all of this? Their only lines in the beginning are, "Fine with us, sweetie," and "Sure, son, I don't see why not," and those same lines are repeated at the end. You would think those two would have stepped in and settled on where to go. Then again, there is a possibility they would have taken sides as well, but I'd rather not think about that scenario. With that said, I give Intense Debate a 4.5 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Intense Debate. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.